Alright, Elite Code 3 back again here with another video. This one's going to be a lot of fun because we've got an order back from PSA. It's not a bulk order. It is this is the type of order that I've been sending in since 2010. It's a regular service order, which is for me it was always cards with a declared value of $4.99 or less. So I mean, there's a lot of cards that kind of snuck in here. There were definitely some upcharges. There's a couple bangers in this one too. So 30 cards. Yeah, okay. 31 cards, 30 got slabbed. One was said to be miscut, and it's like a hockey card from 2014. So we'll take a look at that one and probably get that in an SGC order moving forward. So basketball, football, baseball, hockey. That's the sports I do. Francisco Lindor. This is the prospect auto from 2011. I've got a bunch of these stashed. I used to pick these up for $20, $25 in the summer of 2014. But this is a good one. And this one got a 10. Not the toughest set. These chrome prospect autos from 2011, but they're definitely not gimmies either with scratching and centering. But this one got the 10. I'm the type of collector that does not worry about the auto grade. I don't really enjoy it on the PSA slab. I definitely don't like it on the SGC slab. It's way too messy with those two huge grades on there. One's enough. I mean, obviously, if the auto's faded, you're gonna notice it when you're trying to buy it, and you're probably gonna offer less because that does take away from the card. But like if I look at this auto right here, it looks fine to me. It's not smudged. So Francisco Lindor prospect auto 2010. Those got pretty hot when he signed with the Mets. Was that 6 weeks ago, a couple months ago. Here's some football. This is the SP game used. I always like these. These dropped like July 2004. An SP game used edition it was a cool set that Upper Deck had. They had a lot of nice sets, but this was one that I always enjoyed. So these were the autos. They had base rookies. I think they were out of 425, and they weren't signed, but SP Game Used Edition, Roethlisberger, very respectable 9 grade on this one. Not, I think I bought this raw. I can try to recall how I came across most of these, but not all. Some of them I snapped from Beckett holders that I've had in the collection for 10 years or so. Just the disparity in price between Beckett and PSA got pretty drastic when I sent these in. These were shipped off the first week of September, so right around Labor Day. All right, next up, I think there's 3 of these in here. I'll try to find the other 2. I don't know where they're at. They're in the other box, I guess. But basketball. So we've got the wave of the future. This one is a PSA 8. This is a tough set. I would bet the pop on this for a 10 is extremely low. See this right here? Most of the ones that I come across have this right here, this little white chipping on the back, and that's, when you have that going on the top and the bottom, I don't think you have any hope of a 9. So I think a 9 or an 8 is fair on this card. Front's beautiful, but I think that back chipping is just too much to warrant anything higher than an 8. So fair grade. I will say I thought the grades on this order were extremely fair. There were a couple that were 0.5 lower or higher, but than I expected, but I mean, that's how it should be. All of us have opinions on what we think cards should grade. This pasta was pre-graded at a 9+. So I mean, that just means I expect a 9. It's a solid 9. I don't expect anything higher. See that right there? Just a little weight, but to me, that's enough to take away. To push a card to a 9 from a 10 for me in most cases, but you will see 10s with that all the time. So all right, this is sick. This was actually I think this was bought raw, and it came in, and it's extremely rare to find a Contenders 2001, and they're still putting the Contender on there like they always did, which is funny to me. I don't think you're ever gonna see somebody just find one of these in their collection, send it in and get a 10. I just think all the 10s have already been slabbed, and to get a 9 on this is actually pretty remarkable on the Contenders 2001s. It's extremely sensitive. It's got this just chips so easy. I've seen so many Vic, Breeze, and Tomlinson copies over the years that are just 7s, 6s, 7s, but 9, extremely nice copy. So like if this auto got graded, it would probably get a 9 because it's not like centered within the thing. But that doesn't mean anything to me. The card looks fine. So fantastic LT right there. So I mean, all these players are the typical ones that I like to collect. This Moss is cool because this is the quad diamond. So black diamond, quad diamond out of 100. Really cool. This was a BGS 9. And I snapped it out, and then when I saw the card, looked it over closely. I was like, I wouldn't rate this as a 9. I think I had it as an 8 plus on my sheet. So exactly what I expected on this card. But tough to find one of these. There's only 100 of them. Thicker card. I was thinking 8 or 9 on this one, but this is the exquisite 2011 Julio Jones. There's definitely not a lot of love for this card. I think a lot of people sway towards the National Treasures 2011 Julio, but to me it's a cool card because a couple things it's cool. I think it's on card. It's exquisite collection, which was a cool brand, and it is college, so it doesn't have the appeal of the pro uniforms, but still, it's a future Hall of Famer. It's out of 99, and I bet you could get these raw for like $300 at this point, maybe like $250. This is a nice one. The 2004 Topps Chrome Refractor Ben Roethlisberger. This one's just a little off center. I'd put that center in right to left around 60-40, maybe 65-35. Top to bottom looks great. A lot of times with this set, with the base and the refractor, the two types that I grade a lot, you'll see the team name pushed up to the top, and then that's kind of when you know that the card is off center top to bottom with the name and the team name. So Roethlisberger, crazy shine on this one. 9's, I don't know, I bet this card's 500 to 700. I'll post prices on the cards that I can find some market data on, but sometimes I can't find any sales, so I don't post anything. This is one I thought was going to get a 9, and it got a 10, so I'll probably end up selling it. This top right corner, it's got a little sliver that, if I was grading this, I would probably grade it at a mint plus, but since PSA doesn't have that on their scale, it's either a 9 or a 10, and this one got rounded up. Centering 60-40, maybe 55-45, but the Chrome Refractor, 569. This is actually an awesome card. I think these have cooled off, probably dropped 30-40% in the last 2 weeks. The shoulder injury and somewhat of a slow start for Tatis, but it is extremely early, but buyers are pretty fickle in this market. I think this was a Beckett 9.5 snap out that I thought was mint plus. I thought I had a chance at a 10, but I wasn't really expecting a 10 on it. Just because of the right to left, I don't think it's good enough. Gem mint card should be, to me, that should be close to 50-50. Probably 55-45 would be my cutoff if I ever started a grading company. So Calvin Red, this is a sick card. I think these are uncirculated. They come like as box toppers or something, but it's out of 139. This was a Beckett 9 snap out. This is a set where I couldn't really see the surface. I don't know what the surface was graded on it, but I think the surface was graded like higher than it should have been. I had like a 9 surface grade, and I snapped it out, and the surface just, you guys probably can't see it, but the surface was rough on this one. So I had it down as an 8 just because the rest of the card's nice. It's got nice corners and edges and stuff, but I just thought the surface was just too much. So 8 on the Prestige Brady. That's out of 2,500. Another Wave LeBron. This one got a 9. So let's take a look at the back edges that I was talking about with the 8 and just kind of compare it. Yeah, much cleaner. And this is where you'll see the chipping right here in this area on this card. Most of the time when I send this card in, I get an 8, and that's fine with me. But this one managed a 9. This is the highest grade I've ever gotten on this card. So, Wave of the Future 9, 2003 Flair. That's a great card. I I think it's underrated. It's Flair. It's an insert. Okay, this was in a Beckett. This was when I sent in to Beckett, probably 2010, 2011, and it was just sitting in the slab forever. And I was just like, I was just thinking, I don't like this slab. It was a Beckett 8.5, and I snapped it out. You know, it looked like it should get an 8. Sometimes PSA gets kind of weird with these thick cards, and they'll give you like a 6 or a 7 on a card that is deserving of a 7.5 or 8. But this one managed the 8. This is the RPA base to 99. There is a gold to 25 of this card as well. But just filthy, you know. The Breeze SPX. This was another Beckett card that was just snapped out. This one got a PSA 9, which is awesome for this. The gold and the blue, they're both 250. I've talked about that probably 1,000 times, but PSA 9, I'm gonna hold it like this because of the glare, but great card. This is a neat one. This is the Donruss Elite. So this is the turn of the century. I think they still do these with New Elite. I'm not sure, but 125 print, so low. It's got it's autographed. It's just a cool card. This was one of the first sets that came out in the summer of 2004. That was a fun time to buy singles. I used to snatch up like Fitzgerald's to 500, and I think Sean Taylor was in that set. But Roethlisberger, PSA 9, great card right there. This is sick. This is the 94 finest refractor. Actually, I'm going to save that one for last. There's a crazy one in here coming up. Next up, though, we're going to take a look at the. This is a long video. A lot of talking. Too much chatter. This is the card that didn't get graded. They said it was miscut, so I don't know. Maybe it is. But I'm just going to take it out, wipe it down with the cloth, and send it off to get tuxed. Get fitted for its tuxed out in Boca. So, Pasternak rookie breakouts. That's actually out of 100. It should be out of 100. I don't know. Yeah, it's on the back. I was thinking it was on the front for some reason. Okay, breakouts, pasta. A third wave of the future. Is this right? Did I get 2 9s on the waves? Okay, yeah. So I sent 3 of these in. This one got a 9 as well. So just fantastic. There's the back. See that white right there? But the rest of the red is pretty clean. The gold's clean and the top's clean. So you know. Looks like it's centered. There's a little fisheye right there on the bottom, but I think it looks like a respectable 9. So that was good. This was a Beckett 8.5, I think. So the LT ticket. This has a print of 600. If you're curious on that, 2001. They did not. Actually, the only year they actually numbered them, I believe, was 2002 and 2003. The rest of the time, they just came out with print runs, and they still do that to this day. Of course, now they've got like 20 different variations. I almost liked it better when there was like 2, like maybe a cracked ice and a base. But the LT in an 8, great copy. Of course, you see that white right there, top right, left. These cards have exploded. This is the Flair Showcase row 0 to 250. Just a great card. It just seems like it's so ahead of its time. But the 98 Flair Showcase row 0. It's filthy. See that right there? It's almost like a sticker peeled off on the back. Most of the ones I come across have that on it. So I think this would have had a chance at a 10 because it was a clean. This was probably a Beckett 9.5, like fake gem snap out. That one. Fitzgerald SPXs. These are pretty much impossible. This one was Beckett 8.5, and the reason I don't like Beckett and their subgrades is you could have a card with edges that are just rough, chipped up, and you know if they give the edges like an 8 or an 8.5 and the centering and the other subgrades pull the card up, I think you get a grade that's not really accurate. Like this was an 8.5. I would never grade this as an 8.5. It's got chipping on the back and right there too. So I mean, to me this looks like a 7 to 7.5, not an 8.5, and that's just my opinion. I know CSG's got the same scale as Beckett, and that's kind of making me want to stay away because I just don't like that scale. 90 out of 100 on that one. So that's out of 100. That card always caught my eye just because of the low print. I was hoping for a 7 on this. I was just trying to scratch out a 7. It's a thicker, exquisite Calvin to 20. You don't see these pop up. This is the exquisite debut. You know, it's got some like curled corners. Definitely in 7 to 8 range. 7 on the low, 8 on a good day. But I think this is accurate. So exquisite debut signatures. This is a vintage stock. I was thinking 8.5 on this one. A couple of the corners just don't look that great. This is the Soto US 300 from 2018. This one got an 8, which probably fair. There's a couple corners that are just showing a little white uptick. See that? Yeah. So the vintage stock, I'll probably put this in the store. I don't really want to hold an 8 on this. I don't have anything against the 8s because there's a lot of 8s in this order. Card like this, I would probably keep a 9 in the PC and probably sell the 10. So Soto vintage stock. We got the flagship LeBron. Bought this one raw. It looked good. I was thinking 8.5 when I sent it in. I think that's what I wrote on the sheet. And it got a 9. 65-35, top to bottom, looks closer to 50-50. Corners and edges are pretty clean. So a mint 9 LeBron flagship. I actually like the upper deck and the Fleer better than the Topps flagship. Here's an MVP. I was thinking 9.95 on this one. It got a 10. So I was a little stricter on it. I think this card was over 1,000 at some point. It's probably sitting around there now, but I know a lot of his stuff kind of peaked like most of the market did in February. But there's the LeBron 2003 Upper Deck MVP base. There is the silver version, and then the gold's out of 100. Fitzy. Another Beckett 8.5 where I was snapping these, and honestly, guys, I was just trying to get a 7. Like for me, if I'm gonna keep a card in my collection, if it's a card like this, like a modern card, not like a vintage card, it kind of looks bad with that Mylar sleeve in there too. See that? Looks terrible. But if it's a 6, I just can't do it. I always sell it. It's just weird for a card from 2004 to be a 6. But for some reason, I can tolerate a 7, and that's just me. So this is the Fitz. I actually have my eye on a Fitz right now that's ending that I'm thinking I'm going to win, but I don't know because there's times where I'll put in a snipe and at crazy high price, and I'll get out sniped. Okay, we got some Manning future watches. There's a little white here on this one. Yeah, this is the one I thought was like a 7.5 or an 8. This one will go in the store. So, I mean, if you want a decent future watch Manning, I'm going to hold it like this. Then this would be your copy. 8s, I think 8s are around 2,000. I know 9s are like 3,500. They peaked around 4,500. But PSA 9s of this have pretty much caught Beckett 9.5 fakes. So, interesting. Great card. And we've got 2 of it actually in this order. Another one, a lot cleaner. And you guys are probably thinking, oh, he pulled a PSA 10 on this, but that's not going to happen on this card. I've been sending these in since 2010. I've been sending Moss, Manning, Fred Taylor in, Charles Woodson, and the only 10 I've ever got, I think, is a Fred Taylor. So I've probably sent 25 Mosses in. I've gotten 9s, 8s, and 7s on all of them. And Peyton, I've gotten, I think just 9s and 8s. So, Future Watch Manning. You want me holding it like this because of the glare. Okay, the last two cards are going to be bangers. Exquisite Collection. This is the second one I think we've seen, but this was just another one in the PC, and I just snapped them out, prepped them up, sent them off, and waited like 7.5 months on a regular service order. So just a sick patch. I always targeted the ones with 3 colors. There's a lot of 2 colors out there, but I just thought the 3s would be the ones people would want down the road. So Peterson, that's the base again. Here's a Pujols showcase. These just don't come up a lot. I tried to target the showcase and the Donruss Elite. They're both printed to 500, but the showcase, came across this one. I thought it looked good. I had it in the 8.5 to 9 range. I thought I had a chance at a 9, and it pulled a 9. So this will go right into my Pujols collection. I think his stuff's going to go up a lot in the future. When the dust settles and people see, just take a look at his numbers. They're absolutely remarkable. You know, the last, I don't know, he's been on the Angels for like 7 to 10 years now, hasn't he? But, you know, he's definitely past his prime. But when people think back to his days with the Cardinals, he's one of the best hitters. So there's the showcase. I like the Avant style because it's like the football. Is that it? All right, 2 more. So this is a banger. I think comps had this card close to like 6,000. But this is this was an SGC 10 that you know, I just I don't know, I got jumpy and I wanted to snap it and just see if I could get a 10 at PSA. So it looked great. 33 of 100, and it's the Atomic, and it got a 10. So definitely the best card in the order. Just filthy. Casket card, so. And this was bought raw, actually. A couple of years ago, I think probably like a year ago, I bought it, sent it to SGC, it got a 10. I always thought it looked just fantastic, so I just snapped it out of the SGC and sent it to PSA. I thought they would just give it a 9 out of spite, but they gave it a 10, which actually shocked me. So the Atomic, and then we're going to close out with a Griffey. 94 finest. So I mean, there weren't really a bunch of 10s in this order, but these types of cards are tough to get 10s on. It's not like your ultra modern 2020 Prism where everything's a 9 or a 10, and you almost fall asleep when you watch the video. If you even watch the video. 94 Topps finest Griffey. This is the refractor. Does it say it on the back? So this is the second year of finest, and this one got a respectable 9. Fantastic. Beautiful. I think I had this down as a 9+, so it's exactly what I expected on it. This was a raw buy again. There are clean cards out there, raw, but it is very tough sometimes, and if you don't have patience, you will get tired of buying cards that are creased where the sellers don't disclose creasing. So that's it, guys. I thought this was one of the more enjoyable orders I've showed probably all year, but I'll put some pricing data. I'll get this one up. Lots of dialogue in this one as well, so take care. Later.